Tutorial Tuesday, giving you what you want. Tutorials on a Tuesday. Now sit back and relax, because you deserve it.
Hi y'all, welcome to another Tutorial Tuesday. This is Leah from Mommyish, and today we are doing a tutorial on how to make glitter, specifically glitter styles, look more realistic. So here we go. I'm just starting off with the word glitter, and I'm using a font called Bakery, yes, Bakery Regular, which I believe I downloaded off of DaFont. All right, so glitter. Now, I have lots of glitter styles, obviously, but if you don't have a glitter style, you can always look online and find high-resolution texture files just about anywhere. It'll take you a little more work. What you would have to do is take a texture file, make it in black and white, and then play around with your blending modes, your layer blending modes, to get it to have the effect that you want. So I'm using my styles, and maybe you have one, so it'll be a little easier. I'm using, I think it's from my style set. I'll put the number below, no worries. So I'm just going to go ahead and apply the style itself. And as you see there, it adds a glitter effect. All right. Well, there's nothing wrong with this, per se. It's great. It looks glittery. However, you may want to take it a step further. Perhaps you think the edges look too clean and pristine, and if we really were putting glitter on a page, the edges would not be that nice and pretty. So I'm going to teach you a little technique on how to change that, and it is with playing with brushes in Photoshop, which is way fun. All right. I'm like, it'll change your brush game forever. It will give you life. All right. So what we're going to do, we're going to take this text, and while it's still a text layer, you're going to right click and choose Create Work Path. This is going to create a path, obviously, for our brush to follow whenever we are finished making him. Next, you're going to create a layer above the glitter. All right. When you do this, you want to make sure that your brush color is also the same color that your element or your glitter element is. So this is if I take off the glitter effect, and I think I want it to be pink instead now. I changed my mind to be pink glitter. Y'all are surprised, right? Leah in pink. What? What? No way. All right. So pink glitter. We have the layer above. I make sure that my foreground color is that color. And now I'm going to make a brush. Well, I'm going to apply the style first. Dirt. All right. There we are. There's our style, making it all glittery and beautiful again. Now, since this is a round glitter, it makes my life a bit easier because all I have to do is use one of Photoshop's pre-made hard round brushes. They typically are at the top of your brush list in Photoshop. So let's go ahead, we'll choose our brush tool, and then we're just going to choose a hard round brush. What you're going to do is you're going to zoom in to your element here and resize or scale down the width, scale up or down depending, you know, the size of your brush. I have mine at 13. At 13, it looks like it really does mimic the particle size, like the little glitter particles, which is what I want. So once I've done that, then I'm actually going to go into the brush presets. All right, and this is where we start to have fun. So the first thing we're going to play with is the scattering. And what you're going to do is you're going to choose to scatter on both axes. All right. And you'll move that and you'll see how it's creating this little blippity blip, right? We could do a count, but I always like to do, if you're going to do like a count, it's kind of like how many. You notice it becomes more and more prevalent, like there's several of these brushes kind of in one going over each other over and over again. Make sure you use a jitter because it makes it a little more random if you're going to use several count scatters. I hope that makes some sense. There. I'm just doing 2. I have my count jitter at 100%. Now, the scatter is really dependent on how far out you want the particles to go. If you don't want your particles all over the place, like per se like that, then you need to keep it close to midline. If you're just wanting to switch the edge a bit, then, you know, maybe 100% is a good option. Now, if you want it to look a little more scattery even even more so, you're going to go to your brush tip shape, and then you're going to just move the spacing out a bit. And as you see, the spacing, what that will do is it spaces out the little glitter particles. So again, once I do that, I would go back to the count jitter maybe, the count, the scatter, and just kind of play around until I'm happy with how it looks. When you add more count, it thickens up. It's like more and more and more and more, and all the way to the edge there. All right, it goes from 1 to 16. I think for this one, I'm going to keep it on 2. Again, I'm moving my axis in together a bit more, and I don't want my spacing to be that far out. I'm going to maybe have my spacing be maybe 60%. That little rad lab icon is getting in the way there. There we are. So now we've made a brush. Well, even if you don't like this brush with this particular element, if I were you, I would go ahead and before you use it, go to new brush preset and do and just name your brush something new, like small close together glitter, you know. And even if you want to like just make more brushes before you even commit to anything, you know, go ahead and have a little more fun with it. I'm going to space mine out a little bit more. I'm going to go to scattering. I'm going to increase, you know, how far out on the axis and increase the count a bit. Just like that, and I'm going to save this as a new brush preset. And I just saved it as spread out glitter. All right, so here we go. I have 2 brushes, and the reason why we saved the preset is so we can actually pick these brushes here, and you'll see them at the very bottom of my list. So here's the first one I made. Here's the second one I made. Now we already have our path created, right? And we created a layer right here above that that glitter element. So what are we going to do? We're going to go to paths, and we're going to make sure that that clear layer is selected. And we'd already made sure that we had the right color chosen for our foreground color. Then there's a little drop down box here, and you're going to go ahead and choose stroke path. Now we've already selected the brush that we wanted in advance. If not, you can go ahead, do it again, and just follow the same steps. All right, but I'm just going to go ahead, choose the tool as brush, and hit OK. And as you see there, it added these little glitter pieces. Well, it doesn't look like much of anything right now, but if I add the glitter style to it, you can see there that it now looks more like little scattered glittery pieces. It's so cute. Okay, sorry, I'm over it. I swear. If you're wanting a much cleaner, like you really don't want the scatters to go out that far, again, all you have to do is pull in the axis. And the good thing is whenever we make our brushes, you can edit the brush that you're currently using, right? So I'm going to go ahead and go to the brush presets, and I'm going to say, well, this might be a little too much. It might be a little too much for me. So I'm going to keep the count to 1, and I'm pulling it in. Actually, I want the count to be 2, but I'm going to be pulling in that to like maybe 40%, 50%. And see how that goes. But instead of deleting this other layer, because I want to kind of compare and contrast, I'm going to add a brand new layer. And if you want to see what it looks like immediately, just go ahead and apply your layer, your glitter style to that layer. All right, and then stroke the path. And as you can see there, that's a much tighter pulled in glitter, but it does give it a little more like not so pristine of an edge. So now we have that one. We have this one, which I personally like the most. So yeah, that's it. But also the fun thing about this is once you create these brushes, it becomes so much fun to just doodle around with these little glittery brushes. Just apply your style, and look, you can just play around. So that's my single one that I had just edited, and it's remembering that. So I'm going to go ahead and save that as a new brush preset, that close one. This was the first one we made. And this is the big Mama Jamma. Isn't that pretty? The other fun thing about this is once you have that brush tip shape, the size of it that you want it to be, well, mine was 13. I'm choosing the one that didn't have too much of a the spread. I'm going to pick that main color again. And if I go back to my glitter element here, And I feel like my background color is just a little too dark for you to see the details. So I'm going to go ahead and just do a white background so you can see. That's better. I'm sorry, guys. I would re-record, but I have not the time. All right. But yeah, so I have the pink here. I have my little hard round brush. I'm going to choose a brush. That makes sense. Make sure I have the right layer selected. And one of the fun things to do is maybe add a few little blips here and there to add a, you know, just like you had these little pieces of, you know, it was just imperfect. There's a little bit of extra glitter particles sitting around. Now, some people might not like messy. That's okay. But it's so much fun. And I just, it's not hard, okay? It is not hard to make your own brushes. Now, if your glitter particles are square, then you would just easily create yourself a square brush. And to do that, all you need to do is have a white, like a pure white background. And I'll show you really quick. And you probably know how to do this already, but just in case, because I don't have a pure white background right now, I don't believe. It's white-ish. Now it's pure white. All right. What I would do is I would just go ahead, get out my shape tool, create a rectangle like that, a little black one, a little black rectangle. Then I'm going to use my selection tool around it. Then I'm going, and it has to be black on white. All right. And then I'm going to go to Edit, Define Brush Preset. All right. Now with square, there are some extra little steps that we're going to have to take. All right, so we can delete that rectangle now that we've used them for what we want. And we're going to go ahead and I'm going to teach you another kind of a quick little trick. If you go to your brush presets and choose one of the brushes that we had already made, the little scattery happy ones, let me see if I can find it in this. It's not these because it's being rude. Let me see, this one, or here, we'll choose this one. Go ahead and choose one of the brushes that you're happy with. Then go to your brush tip shape. When you select the square, you'll notice it's kind of doing the same thing. Don't be scared because it looks a little wonky right now, but we'll get it looking right. Again, if the circle was 13, then this probably needs to be 13 or 14 as well. I'm going to do 14. Now, the reason why you notice it's not like following, it's just like a straight edge, is because we haven't made the shape dynamics as such to fix that. So what we do is with square shapes or other shapes, anything other than a circle, you're going to need to go to your shape dynamics and do an angle jitter of 100%. I would also suggest doing a flip X jitter, click that one, and flip Y jitter as well. All right. You can play with the roundness that kind of change if it was like an imperfect glitter or whatever, like it had like mixed particles, that would work really well. If you want to change the size jitter as well, that can have little particles and big particles. There's a lot you can do with it. So right now, and as I do this, sometimes it's good to, you can always play around and just get a feel, you know, for what you have done. I'm going to go back into that window again, because it's still there. I haven't lost anything. So I know I have those where I want them, but I want to increase the spacing, definitely. And as you see, as I increase the spacing, it looks much more glittery, I should say, like that. Not quite to the point I want it yet. So I'm going to go to my brush presets one more time. I'm going to go to my scattering, and I'm going to make it go out just a bit more like that. And there we are. Now we have a cute little square glitter. And once you have him the way you want him, make sure always save it as a new brush preset so you don't lose that preset. So square glitter, just like that. And you can do that with anything. You can even do that with hearts. So I'm going to do that quickly just so you can see what that would look like. I'm going to use just a regular shape tool that I have here in my arsenal. I think this little heart shape is mine. Haha, it's my shape. I made it. All right. So if I don't want to have to worry about resizing it, I could go ahead and scale it down from the get-go. So we have this little heart. I'm going to take my selection tool again, just a little selection tool like that. Edit, define, brush preset. This is not a brush preset, by the way, that you're going to save. We're just using it as the base because it's all about that base. Oh my God, I'm so lame. I'm so sorry, guys. I am lame. I'm lame, but you know this. All right, so I have my little heart. I have a new layer selected. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to choose my brush. Then I'm going to choose the brushes. I'm going to go ahead and pick out that square one that we just did because we liked a lot of the settings in that one, right? Then we're going to go to the presets. Go ahead and choose the heart. Change the spacing to get it to look how we want it to look. I'm going to change the size just a bit to maybe 20. This one needs more scattering in my opinion, so I can see more of the little hearts. Maybe less, maybe just a 1 count. Let's see how that looks. So if I go ahead and paint over, look, I have little heart glittery confetti, guys. That is so sweet. All right, so there you go. You can make brushes with pretty much anything, and it really can be a great, great time. So I hope this tutorial has been somewhat helpful. Don't forget to save your brush presets. If there's anything I can tell you, when you get your preset the way you like it, save it. Do not save it. And in fact, make sure that you even save those brushes to your hard drive, because you know what happens if you haven't saved in a while and Photoshop crashes, all of those presets are gone, even the ones that you saved in this little area. So I'm deleting the ones that I don't want, which were just the shapes that I initially used. Then you would just go here, go to Preset Manager. All right, so you brush presets, preset manager. Then all you have to do is select your brushes here at the end, right? You just select your guys and then save set and save it wherever you want it. That way you have a backup just in case. Anyway, I hope this has been informative and that you've enjoyed it. Have a fantastic day and then see you next week. Bye-bye.